Winners never quit and quitters never win. Vince Lombardi. Good morning, everybody. My name's Anthony Jones, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the history of the Super Bowl, why it's so great in American culture today, why so many people turn into it, and how it's gotten so big, and just some of the history and some of the great players that have played in this game. To start off, I'm going to start off with some of the history of the Super Bowl. So the NFL was founded in the 1920. And even though it was founded in the 1920s, it wasn't until 40 years later that they had a Super Bowl, that they had a championship game, which is crazy to think. In 1960, there was a group of businessmen. They wanted to start their own franchise in the NFL, but they were denied. So they all got together and made their own league, made their own franchises called the AFL. The two leagues, they went back and forth with the fans, the cities, the rivalries, just, stuff that makes football great today and made football great back then. And then in 1966, they both got together and was like, you know what, why don't we take the best team from the NFL and the best team from the AFL and make a championship game out of it and decide the best team of the world. So they did that, and they ended up calling it the AFL-NFL World Championship game. But that didn't stick. It wasn't catchy, and they knew that name wasn't going to last. So they had a meeting, what can we name this game? It was the AFL owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, Lamar Hunt, came up with the name, the Super Bowl. And the rest is history. In 1970, the AFL and NFL, they came together to make the NFL that we have today. To some of the histories, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots, they have the most Super Bowls in NFL history, coming in at 6. And then in second place with 5, it's the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. Behind me, for my visual aid, we have a picture of the first Super Bowl between the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs. It's crazy to think, in this Super Bowl, tickets, they were only going for $6, $10, and $12, with even like 30,000 empty seats. It was held in the Los Angeles Coliseum. The Packers ended up winning 35-10 against the Kansas City Chiefs. There's been many great players to come and play this game. Many Hall of Famers. Not some Hall of Famers, they're still waiting on their time to get into the Hall of Fame, get into Canton. But some of the Super Bowl leaders, as far as like quarterbacks, Tom Brady, everybody knows Tom Brady. He's been the face of the league for the past 20 years, since 2012, since he won his first Super Bowl. And the New England Patriots, they just went on that dynasty run. But for leaders as a quarterback in career games as a Super Bowl, he has the most game pass attempts, career passes completed, and game passes completed, and so many more to name. A lot of people don't like him, but he's a great quarterback. He's done some great things for this game. He's changed the game. What is he, 42, 43, 41, somewhere around there, and he's still playing. It's something that hasn't been done. I know it helps out a lot with how much they protect the quarterback with the penalties. It helps him out a lot. But just to see what he's doing at the age that he is, it's just crazy to think, man. But yeah, he holds some of these records over some of the great quarterbacks that have ever played in the Super Bowl. Just to name a few, you have Phil Simms, Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, Terry Bradshaw. That's just a few to name, but there's so many great more. Like I said earlier, there's so many great Hall of Famers to name, not just at the quarterback position, wide receiver, safety, middle linebacker, defense, offense. There's just so many. You can go on and on. The list can go on and on. There's just not enough time for me to name off some of the great players. But just to name a few that I can think of, you have Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. There's just so many more. That's just a couple that I can. Eli Manning, Peyton Manning, you got the two quarterbacks, brothers. But see, the Super Bowl, it's not just great just because of the Hall of Fame and just how much Americans and the world loves football. There's so much that goes into more about the Super Bowl. For instance, the halftime show. Another big reason why a lot of people come to watch the game sit down to watch a game. It's not just men that watch the Super Bowl. You have women and children. They come in to watch a game because they're excited about the halftime show. They're excited about the commercials. So it's not just mainly a men's thing. It's not once the first Sunday in February, just men are going to sit down and watch the Super Bowl. This is literally like the whole world coming together and watching the Super Bowl. You have literally everything for everyone. You have the halftime show, the commercials, and it's just a time for friends and family to get together, enjoy each other's company. I know we don't get to do that a lot. We're all busy. We all have lives. We're all working, going to school. But when we do, when you have the little times together, it's really special, and you just got to enjoy the little moments. So that's some of the history of the Super Bowl. I know there's a lot more. There's some memorable games that I could talk about, but that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have learned something from the Super Bowl, and you guys might take an interest, to look at some of the great players, look at some of the great games. I know there's multiple videos of highlights of the Super Bowls. We just had a great one this past year. The Chiefs came back. I hope you guys all have a great day, and thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you.